Well, hello. Glad you're here. Glad you're stopping by. Welcome to Daily Bits. So I'm going to talk about something just for a couple minutes. I thought about making a long form video about it, but I would be all over the place, and I don't want to do that. And it's very divisive, and I figured let me just put what I think out there, and that's it. I don't want to cause any people to leave the channel. You know, I took a look at the channel on the analytics. In the last 28 days, we lost exactly 30 people. We lost 30 subscribers. That sucks. Sucks really bad, and I don't want to do that. So I want to try to stay away from the political stuff because it can get nasty. But there's one thing I do want to talk about that's really disgusting to me. So if you've been paying attention to the news, the last decade or so, or longer, actually, since I was in middle school, school shootings, mass shootings. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know why somebody gets it in their head. It's like, hey, I know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to kill a lot of people. Maybe at a school, maybe at a bank, maybe at a hospital, maybe at an Air Force base, maybe in a park. I'm just going to kill people. I don't know why, I just want to do it. You know, some of these people, they even make manifestos, and they have their reasonings. They're like, oh, the system's terrible, or I was bullied, which that sucks. Sucks. People can be pushed to the points where they commit acts of violence. Bullying is a bad thing. That is a problem. That is one of the problems. A lot of people are just going to blame it on the guns. It's not the gun's fault. It's the person who has the gun. The gun's not going to shoot you by itself. It's not going to sit there on the ground and just start firing at people. I mean, it's possible if you just drop the gun and the gun goes off, but it's not going to like get up, walk around, and shoot people. That's not how it works. Somebody has to pull the trigger. But that kind of goes into another thing that I don't want to really dive into. I think there's a lot of mental health stuff that goes with it, honestly. If you ever see some of these people that commit these acts, they're usually dead inside. You look at their eyes, and that's the first thing you can see. Like, these people are dead inside. And they just, you know, pure evil. And that is a mental health issue. I mean, if you're homicidal, suicidal, or any sidals, don't do that. Don't shoot people. Don't stab people. Don't shoot yourself. Just go get help. Don't be on the news. Don't cause somebody else to lose their loved one just because, you know, you got bullied, or you're having a bad day, or, you know, you don't know what your gender identity is. Which that was one of the things that people were kind of blaming for the Nashville issue. You know, I watched a video. I watched the actual video of the police going in and taking care of the problem. You know, one thing that's bothered me is like the First Amendment auditors, the ones that are saying that all cops are bad. Then you see the video where these cops go in scared for their lives, going into a place where their lives are in danger, and, you know, ultimately eliminating the issue. It could have went really bad. In some cases, people get hurt. You know, I think this is a case that shows, hey, these cops are heroes. You know, some of these First Amendment auditors are just like, oh, they just wanted to kill the person. They just wanted to. They wanted to do that. They're not heroes. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. For real. Just go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. If anything, some of these First Amendment auditors shouldn't have a gun. Most of them, anyway. Especially Chile. He shouldn't have a gun. He's a fucking idiot. But anyways, I don't know. I don't really know what we can do as a collective to stop this shit from happening. You know, one side says, hey, let's take the guns away. I don't think that's going to help anything, because you take the guns away, people are still going to be able to get the guns. It's just the way it is. Or they'll find other ways to cause mass damage to people. I mean, it doesn't just require a gun. You could build bombs. You could stab people. You can chemically hurt people. I mean, you take one thing away, something else is going to take its place. And that's why the gun issue is a whole lot harder to tackle than most people think. Again, the gun is not going to, get up, walk around on its own and start shooting people. That's not the case. If that was the case, then that's weird. That's a whole nother problem. But I think, a lot of it is mental health issues. I think there's problems with bullying. I think there's a lot of problems with that. People, when people are going through a lot in their lives, some of them tend to do drastic things that are just plain awful. I used to have a gun. I used to own a Walther PPK. Bought the gun because James Bond had that gun, and I wanted that gun. After I owned that gun there for a while, I started having problems. And it would have been easy for me to take that gun when I was having those problems and end myself. So I eliminated the gun. I sold the gun. I was like, I don't want to do that, obviously. But what did I do? In its place, I still found other ways to cause harm to myself, like swallowing a whole bottle of pills. And that's another thing. Like I said, you take one thing away, something that would hurt somebody, another thing will pop in its place, and that was a bottle of pills. I have a friend. He had a gun. Depression's really bad. He committed suicide with that gun. It wasn't the gun's fault. It wasn't the gun it did. It was his actions. And it's terrible. It's awful. It's awful. It's really awful. I don't want to see somebody lose their lives to themselves or from another person. There is, reason to have a gun to protect yourself against people, like in case somebody comes in your house with weapons threatening to hurt somebody. Well, they fuck around, they find out. And how they find out is you take that gun and you end the problem. Some people don't see it that way. And it's weird, and I don't want to get too deep into it because that's going to get into the politics of things. And the main thing I want to tackle is just the mental health aspect of it. And, or just blame the fact that people are fucking evil. Some people just don't care who they hurt. It's just the way it is. I think there should be some better checks and balances for felons and mental health issues and stuff like that. But, there's already stuff in place for it. But still, it's not going to stop anyone from getting a weapon and causing damage. This is how it works. You can't stop it. It's going to happen. Guys, I love you very much. Please don't take this as a political thing. I don't want it to be. I'm not blaming a group of people for it. My whole thing is the mental health aspect of it. I'm definitely not trying to be anti-gun, because I'm not. You have the right to own a gun. You do. But just be careful out there, guys. Be careful. You never know. You never know if somebody's going to walk in where you're at and do those same things. It's awful. It's scary that you have to think that way. It's scary that you have to think that, you have a child you send to school. Well, what if that kid doesn't come back? That's something you have to think a lot about that these days. Never thought that would be a problem, but in the last, 20 years, it's been awful. It's been terrible. You see it all the time. There's no safe spaces anymore. You're not safe anywhere. And these things kind of prove it. Guys, I love you very much. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.